Hey, Wilfredo, we see you. We're still having issues with stuttering video, and pretty much this guarantees that I'm not going to be renewing StreamYard. Guys, I have shut down every application that's running in the background that I can.
And hardwired.
My CPU is only using 3 or 4% right now. I have rebooted. I am hardwired into the Ethernet. It didn't matter. We did 4 tests, and every one of them did this, the stuttering. So if it's working right now,
We may have found a solution in the version.
if it's working right now, we don't know why, but we just did 4 tests and none of them worked. I have it turned down to only 480 instead of 720. I turned off skin smoothing. No, I don't have an ad blocker on. In fact, thank you, Benito.
And Ola.
What I do have, you know what? I'm going to turn off my virus. Let me turn off my virus program. I'll turn that off. I've already turned off the VPN. So I'm going to pause this for 5 hours. We'll see if that helps. We're not, so Annie-Vet, are we stopping every 5 seconds or something and freezing up? Because it seems like that's the problem, is the video. And we didn't have this issue
Until we got here.
I'm looking at the corner of our screen and it says that our connection is unstable. Try plugging into your router or moving closer. I am plugged into the router.
And we're literally 3.5 feet away from the router.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's not it. See, there. Thank you, Gordon. Exactly. This is what we just figured out. Or Greg, sorry, Greg. We did 4 tests and I kept downgrading every time, and it did not alleviate the problem. Oh, goodness. So, hey, so I should say hello. Hello, Annie and Jenny. Hello, Jenny. Claudia. Hola.
Hola.
And let's see. You stop from time to time, but the audio has kept going. Yeah, if you are used to maybe listening to podcasts, this may be the only way to handle this until we find another streaming service, because
which will be before the next live.
Yeah. I'm about to renew, and I told him today, if we have the same issues after I have done all this investigation,
it's out of here.
I'm not using it anymore. I'll find something else to use. So, oh goodness. Yeah, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. It's annoying. Hola, Blanca. Elisa. Hola, Elisa. Yeah. Yep, it froze when you did that. You see? Yeah.
And see, we don't see it.
We can't see it, so we had to do.
So fortunately, if it's in a really bad facial expression, sorry for y'all, we don't see it. I mean,
we can't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh goodness, Jenny and hey, Papa. We were really digging your last video, man, and we noticed a lot of drone footage in that video. I don't know how you got away with that.
From Rio, that was very good. Nicely done.
Yes. Hola, Georgia and David. Valladolid, man, we like Valladolid. We do. Hi, Arlene. Hi, Arlene.
My 2 angels, my cigars got here today.
Yes. Okay. Small price to pay to spend time with our favorite people. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So, okay, Cloud. Hey, oops, I skipped Cloud. You guys are too fast. Tallulah, keep talking. We can deal. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Yeah. Cloud.
And we're going to keep drinking because
it's frustrating. It's frustrating. It's so frustrating because up until we got here, we weren't having this issue.
We have issues.
Was an audio issue. The audio issue was caused by an application for Logitech items for gamers. It was called 𝙤𝙀. And a lot of people said that the 𝙤𝙀 was causing this. I uninstalled the 𝙤𝙀. That fixed that. But now we got this video thing, and that thing started when we got here. Our download speeds and our upload speeds, either wireless or hardwired, are both well over 250 megs. I mean, there's no
Both
reason.
ways. I mean, it's just like,
there's no reason this should be happening. So I'm really very sorry that you got to deal with it. Hola, Anna. and London. Hola. Hola a todos. All right. So let's see. Okay. So what are the changes? Are we going to discuss the changes? Maybe we should discuss what brought on the changes first.
we can do that. We
Let's
can
do
start
that.
wherever you want to.
Let's do that. So what brought on changes is that we noticed our schedule was rather aggressive, if you think about it. Almost 30 cities in 4 years. That would be, you know, 7.5 per year. And we were like, okay, so sometimes it's a 1 month stay, sometimes it's a 2 month stay. If it's a city we really think we might like, it's a 3 month stay. And so we did 7 cities.
We did 7 cities in 2023, and
yeah,
we are going to still do 7 cities in 2024. And the reason that we're doing 7 cities in 2024 is because we book that far out with our Airbnb. So we sort of locked ourselves in.
Yeah, we're trying to lock a good price.
I mean,
they are.
Well, 2 things.
Oof.
Number 1 is the price. And number 2 is also the fact that the biggest issue we start running into is we have, you know, like we said before, we prefer a king bed. We have to have off-street parking. We have to have a workspace for her. We have to have good Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And then it really does need to be big enough for us, if we're going to be there, you know, at least a month, to be able to put everything. I mean, because we get in these small spaces and we have stuff just sort of stacked everywhere, and it becomes uncomfortable. I mean, it's hard to.
You're like a hoarder. You're kind of walking between piles of things. So knowing that, our first year, one of the lessons we learned was that it's way too hard to do a month to month to month back to back.
3 1 months in a row, just
it was rough.
Beating our butt.
We swore that we wouldn't do that again. Two of them back to back, we can tolerate. But doing 3 of them was just rough, because as soon as you move in, time flies really quickly, especially if I'm working and we only get to go out and do things on weekends. And then there you go. Week number 4, we're packing back up to move on to the next place. So we agreed that those 1 month stays need to be limited, at least with the back-to-backs, because it was tired. Let me just say hello to everybody who's popping up here real quick again. Hey, Wilfredo, we're getting to it, Wilfredo. We promise. It's coming. And Lena. Hi, Lena. And let's see here. Hello, Life Purpose. Hola. Thank you for joining us today. Okay. So then we had this issue where we've been doing this for a year and we're going to places. Some of them we kind of know really aren't probably going to be on the list based on the fact that their location doesn't really tick the boxes, like healthcare close by, airport close by.
Well, and some of them tick the boxes for us going, we really want to go there.
We want to go there and see it.
And so, you know, we were like, well, we're doing this whirlwind tour.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense for us to drive right by this and not spend some time in these particular locations. You know, just to see it. What we didn't really foresee when we were putting this entire schedule together.
I know where you're going.
And we were sitting there on the couch back in the States, and we're going, oh, let's do this, you know, oh, okay. And we put all of it together. The part we didn't really factor in was what we are now calling moving fatigue.
Yeah.
And it really started to hammer us, and it really got to us with the 𝙤𝙬𝙀 episode. I mean, because that was
2 moves in 36 hours.
Well, not only that, it was basically 3 moves in 12 days.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it was.
It was, we packed up Progresso, we went to the resort, and then we packed back up from the resort, went to 𝙤𝙬𝙀, spent a miserable 36 hours there, and packed it up again in the dark, and then came here and then unpacked again. And we literally were almost dead for about 10 days.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
no desire to go do anything.
No, none.
None.
I mean, it was all right. We got to go to the grocery store because we got to have something to sustain ourselves. Thank God, that we went there, and that there's an OXXO that is a very short distance away that we were able to walk to when we started, running low on certain things. And for 10 days, that's basically, we just sort of went.
Yeah, we needed to take a breath. I'd like to say, hola, Suzanne. Thank you so much for joining us. And we love SLP, by the
way. And so, I think both of us were thinking it, but neither one of us wanted to be the first one to sort of bring it up.
Okay, well, and there's another thing.
There is?
Yeah, there is. There is.
Okay.
I actually started missing friends.
Well, yes, and you had mentioned that.
I had mentioned it before.
You had mentioned that 5 months ago in Merida.
I was missing friends. We pretty much make friends just about everywhere we go, but there's definitely 2 places that we made some long-lasting friends so far.
Yeah,
𝙤𝙬𝙤𝙤 and San Luis,
and 𝙤𝙬𝙤,
and 𝙤𝙬𝙤, because we've made family friends there, right? And that was another thing that in our naivete, as we planned this in the United States, having not actually lived in this country, we never considered human connections.
No.
And how they would affect our decisions.
No, we were so tunnel vision focused, is the only way I can really describe it, on putting together the tour.
Yeah.
And how are we going to do this? How, logistically, how's it going to work? Financially, how's it going to work?
I mean, we did it in a very analytical way.
Well, that's typically the way we do things.
Yeah.
We just sort of go, okay, we can go boom, 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 boom. And we really did leave out the whole, there's a human aspect to this. And part of that human aspect is the fatigue that we're feeling. Another part is the sense of isolation that we tend to, because every time we pick up and move, we're moving someplace that most of the time we don't know a soul.
We don't know anyone.
I mean,
it's often, this is not a good example where we are now, but often there's not a lot of English being spoken.
No, we're
starting all over. So that's okay to some respect. Playa Car in particular, though, when we landed here, this was not in our plans.
Oh, no.
We never intended on staying here. This actually became a stay of necessity because of the 𝙤𝙬𝙀 episode.
Well, and we had toyed with the idea of possibly going someplace else to go look, but then we were driving away from having to come back to Tulum, and so it really basically was narrowed down to, okay, we can go back to Progresso, we can go to Merida, we can go to Valladolid, we can go to, Riviera Maya. I mean, that was sort of our choices.
We were looking all around.
And
we called people that we had stayed with in the past and any of their connections, facilitators we dealt with, etc. But we ended up here.
Yeah.
So let me just read what Tallulah has here. This is so good. Lots of wisdom here, and appreciate your candor. You're very welcome.
Well,
yeah, we're pretty straight up with our information. And
I mean, the good news is big changes. Yeah, we're going to bed together tonight. Ain't nothing happening there. So I mean, well, I mean,
our relationship is strong.
That's what I meant by
the finances are dwindling.
But
I'll get to that in a minute. So here we are. We're on this move to, this is city number 8, right?
Yes.
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 City number 8.
Yep.
And it's not any place that we had ever planned to be. I had no itinerary, no plans for us to do anything. In fact, things around here are so tourism driven that they are ridiculously expensive.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I thought about going to 𝙤𝙩𝙖𝙢𝙀, basically, which is like 𝙤𝙗𝙁𝙤𝙀's like weird optical illusion place. But the two of us to go to that is almost $300. And if we added the 𝙤𝙗𝙁 thing on the end of that, it was going to cost us $600 for the day to go do this amusement park type thing. I'm like, no. We're going to be in Tulum, so I already had plans for us to go to 𝙤𝙗𝙗 and other places. So PDC is just kind of a weird place to be right now.
Oh, the only good thing is we did get to walk to Krispy Kreme.
Oh God, that's right.
I mean,
he insisted we go get Krispy Kreme one day. It was very good.
Well,
we got 8 extra donuts.
That's right, because right now Krispy Kreme is running a promotion where to celebrate their 20 years here in Mexico. If you buy 12, you get 20. And yes, all 20 are gone. So, you know.
Look, guys, the box of 8, I ate 2.
You know, and the worst part was they didn't even have the ovens in that store. So they weren't hot.
Yeah, they deliver them. They were fresh.
No, they were fresh, but they weren't like, you know, they were when they're hot and they just come off. And those, when they're hot,
yeah.
Oh my, yeah.
But, you know, so now we're in the heart of the whole tourism area where everybody is, where the mermaid statues down by the water are. And I am having a freaking anxiety attack because I just cannot stand being in thick, heavy crowds like that. I couldn't wait to get out of there. Just
yeah. And then that's when we did and just to clear this all up, because we got a lot of responses on the whole tramadol thing.
Oh,
you know, yeah. my mom is prescribed tramadol, and so that's why we picked it up, because, you know, while her doctor will prescribe it, she has to go see him, and then that means, you know, and then it's copay and this and that and everything else, and so, you know, it's like, you know, because Gina is hopefully.
Okay, I'm getting to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so, that's why we bought the 100 tablets of tramadol, because she's 83 years old. She suffers from arthritis, and every once in a while, ibuprofen just doesn't kick its butt, and the tramadol does. So yeah. We're good. We're not using tramadol.
No.
I can take tramadol like Tic Tacs because they do absolutely nothing for me.
Yeah.
So
anyway, so we were reevaluating. What are we doing? Why are we doing it? We noticed something. We already knew this was happening. There was an Airbnb that we had a lot of interest in when we were in the United States, originally looking for Airbnbs to book. That Airbnb today, this is 18 months later, is double what it was.
Now,
yeah.
Okay. The reason that we did not stay in this Airbnb is because when we booked it, the owner came back to us really quickly and went, "I'm sorry, this shouldn't have been on there. We are renovating the house." And so what we don't know is we don't know how much money they stuck into the renovation and what they did, because the pictures that they're showing on it now are the same pictures they showed before.
Yeah.
And so they may have upped the price because of what they did in the renovations and have not yet updated the site. So that could be part of the increases, because what they have sunk into the house.
But we're noticing
double.
Our Airbnb fees are running us literally on the average about $3,000 a month.
And
without fail.
And just to give everybody a heads up on this, the International Monetary Fund released a report last week, and in that report, they listed the housing statistics as far as increase in the cost of living for these, you know, major countries across the world, and Mexico had the second highest increase in housing in the world.
In the world, guys.
In the world.
Now, it's still less expensive to live here than it is in the United States, but the rate of inflation has risen so rapidly in Mexico that it is second highest increase in the world.
Not the second highest to live, but the amount of increase. And this was based on where everything was pre-pandemic. and then where it was at the end of, I think they were doing it at midpoint of 2023 because they, you know, it takes them a while to put the figures together. So basically they were going from 2020 to 2023. And in that period, the second highest increase, second only to Dubai, was Mexico. So
That's pretty mind blowing.
that gives you an idea.
It actually explains a lot. It explains a lot about why people feel how they feel about prices rising and who's to blame and everything else. It explains why they have so much of this frustration. And of course, we also know that the Yucatan Peninsula has the highest rate of inflation in Mexico. So we've been fighting some pretty high Airbnb costs lately. And if the Airbnb was less than $3,000 a month, then we were also paying electricity on top of that. So,
or we ended up like 𝙤𝙀𝙀.
Or we ended up like 𝙤𝙀𝙀, which, yeah.
Yeah.
So then
Video to come on that.
Yeah. Then there is the dwindling bank account. I had a contract that ran until October. It was a very good contract, and I was able to sink away pretty much $22,000 between Airbnb fees and some whatnot. We're going to be pretty close to about 4,000 of that 22,000 still left since October.
Now we have paid for a fair amount of the upcoming Airbnbs.
We pay for them in advance. You have to reserve them. So we're talking about Airbnbs that have been reserved out to next year. Yeah. But still, you know,
it's, you know, but the good news is she does have, right now, knock on wood, a good lead that is supposed to be starting first week of February. So we're crossing our fingers that would come through.
I'm hoping I'm going to hear something
any day,
at least next week, because they want to roll this out
the following week. So yeah, first full week of February is when this project's supposed to go. And I feel really good about it because during my interview, I got grilled pretty good by this person. And apparently I ticked all the boxes and knew all the answers. And so she just stopped asking questions. And she basically said, I'm convinced that you know what you're doing and you have the experience. And I'm definitely putting you through for the team. How do you feel about being team lead? And I'm like, what? Team lead? She goes, well, you have supervisory experience. How do you feel about being the lead? I'm like, well, what does the lead entail? And basically what it entails is keeping the client happy. Because as long as the client's happy, they'll keep coming back to the consulting agency for contracts. Okay. So that sounds good. Yeah. Right? Oh, George and David, let's see here. Between exchange rate and the Airbnb inflation, we're definitely feeling it too. Yeah, I mean, we lost 20% on the exchange rate because when we came down across the border, it was over 20, and now it's over 17. So, all right, 15%. So
it's dropped down to 16.
Well, yeah, but now it's over 17. So, you know, one's going down and the other's going up, and the part that gets squeezed in that, is the bank account. And folks, this is not nobody pop on there and go, no, this is not what that's about. We're just giving you an idea of what's going on. So
it's just that I really have to seriously bust down. I mean, I basically said to him that we had enough funds that we could live comfortably without too much worry until about May, because we have all the Airbnbs paid for. But, you know, there's always incidentals that come up and, you know, groceries and all that jazz.
Cigars.
And then, of course, a tax refund. Because I worked and I lived in Mexico for the entire year, I will qualify for the foreign earned income tax exclusion. But then I have to figure out how to file that. I'm going to have somebody do it for me because the wording, the verbiage is a little beyond what I'm used to dealing with. I typically always did our taxes, but I'm going to have someone do it for me. But then we'll have that refund coming back, and that will, of course, help.
That'll replenish a little bit, but so it's not like, we're packing the car and we're heading north of the border.
No, we're not.
Oh, hell no.
No.
That ain't happening.
No,
So,
no.
you know,
And look,
yes, we're good. And no,
we're not
we're not
leaving.
going to the other
so
side
those
of
are
the
the
border.
two panic buttons we're not pushing.
You know,
And yes, David and Georgia, you are so close to 1,000 right now. We're waiting. We're rooting for you
so
here.
anybody who isn't subscribing to Georgia,
Yes.
Georgia and
David travel.
folks, get them over the 1,000.
Get them over 1,000.
They're in the 900s, so they're that close.
You know
so
what?
we
And
can.
you need to check out their videos, the Pueblo Mágico videos. They put so much work into giving you all their expenses, restaurant reviews. I mean, it's
Tequila reviews.
tequila, mezcal reviews, Carajillo reviews. Oh Lord. Okay. So let's see. Oh, hola, Alfredo. Nice to have you. Thank you for joining us. And thank you, Arlene. Thank you. I'm glad. I need people pulling for me. I want this job. I think I can do a really good job. So
when they go, we'd like you to be the lead. I think that's pretty well. That's why we're not really sweating all this. And
what's it like? We are so close.
Oh, you mean that whole $500 and some odd dollars we made last year?
Yeah, we actually made less than $800 last year, honestly.
But I mean, we feel so good about it that my poor mom is just getting slammed with Amazon orders because we figure she's going to have to go up probably to do a drug test.
Yeah.
And so. Oh, what have we been needing from Amazon back from the States that we can't get down here? Well,
let's see, brown gravy mix.
Well, two new pairs of Hey Dude shoes because I love my Hey Dudes, and assorted other things that and she's just keeps throwing them in what she now calls our bedroom because when we're there, boom. So, but so. Everything's good. We're staying here. We're still going to be doing our bit. But at the end of this year, 2024, and here's the big news, we're going to take a 6-month break.
Yeah, this is the big news. We rearranged our travel schedule. Yeah. We knocked a couple places out of the list that probably will not be ready for us, Acapulco and someplace else I can't remember. But we knocked a couple places out.
We knocked Puerto Escondido out.
Oh, yeah. Puerto Escondido was getting to be one of those things where, number one, it was too expensive to stay there. And number two, there were like 3 main areas. And the area we wanted to be near the most had the least amount of compatible places for us to stay. So it's out. So because we made room, we actually sat down for a few days. Yeah. And thought about where do we really want to go?
Well, and the part I was getting at, neither one of us really wanted to be the first one to say it. I mean, it was sort of like, all right, am I going to be the one that's going to, rain on the parade? And so I could tell by a couple of the comments she had made, and I was feeling the same way. So I threw it out there, and it took about a nanosecond for her to go, really? I've been thinking the same thing. It was like, well, duh, I mean, it was grinding on us. It's probably the best way of saying it. And we needed a place that we were just going to be able to go, all right, we're unpacking just about everything, and we're going to call it home for 6 months. And it's going to be a place that we have friends at and everything else. And so we're going to Querétaro for 6 months at the end of 2020. But matter of fact, right before Christmas, we'll be arriving in Querétaro for 6 months. So
that will literally have been the longest stay anywhere for us. And there were 2 places that we knew we needed to repeat. Querétaro was one of them because we were way too far out in the suburbs the first time.
Thank you, Roddy and Landy, for putting us up and saving our bacon on that. But we really wanted to be closer. And so, they got us into the country, and thank you. I mean, that took so much pressure off us, but we want to try closer into Centro. and not have to do the drive down the hill. And if we can find a place in 𝙞𝙀𝙨 neighborhood, book it
That'd
right.
be nice.
Book it right now. I mean,
and then of course the other place that we didn't get to spend enough time in was 𝙤𝙗𝙀. So we've added another 2-month stay there as well. So we basically have added 8 months,
and something had to come out,
and other things came out.
And then what we also failed to we had recognized, but we didn't go in and fix the schedule, was we go, we need at least 2 months at the end of the 4 years to get back to the city that we finally choose. I mean, unless we happen to choose the city that we end in, and that's a possibility, but we have to work that in the schedule so we have time to get back to that city, find a place to live, because what we're going to do when we finally get back to that city, or whatever city it is that we go, that's going to be home, is we're going to rent for a year, because we want to be able to better scope out all the neighborhoods and go, no, we don't like the west side, we prefer this side, we want to be closer to the. We don't know that until we spend at least a year there, and so we don't want to buy a house until we know where we want to buy a house in that city.
The lease process takes some time.
Yep.
And it can have some stumbling blocks. Let me catch up on some comments real quick here before they scroll away. Let's see. Greg spent 3 weeks in hotels in December 2022. Out of curiosity, I looked at the same 3 for this past December. Same dates of booking. They were between 50% and 100% more. Yep. That's absolutely true. Valladolid, Isla Mujeres, and Playa.
Yep.
All right. Hola, Diana. You got this, Gina. Great videos from both of you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Georgia and David, you got a new subscriber.
We're getting closer.
Gracias, Benito. And yes, Wilfredo, Querétaro. It's coming.
and my
yes,
angels are happy.
The angels are happy. I can see they're like, yay. And Annie is throwing out noise crackers and things. Yeah.
that will mean that there will be at least one, probably more than one, inebriated evening. I'm throwing that out there. Goodness.
We'll be in El Pueblito hanging out with the girls. Claudia, yes. I'm excited. Okay, truly remarkable. Hey guys, sometimes you have to get creative to live the dream. It's all a trade-off.
Oh yeah.
We're all making up the rules as we go. You're right. And one of the places that suffered to an extent, but not completely, was Lakeside.
Yeah.
We had a 4-month potential stay in
5.
Lakeside. Well,
5.
I thought we eliminated 1 month.
No, we had not. We had talked about it, but we had not gone.
No, we actually had.
But
we actually
okay, so we took 2 months out.
Yeah, it was 6 weeks, 6 weeks, and 1 month. So
okay.
Yeah. Well, it's now been reduced to 2 months. And one of the things is we had talked about staying at Jocotepec, Chapala, and Ajijic. And we're like, well, Chapala and Ajijic, I mean, they're so close to each other, and we don't know. Anyway, 2 months now. So.
Yeah, and we're just going to stay in one, and we can, whatever directions we need to go, we can do that.
See, our budget is much smaller than yours. We're currently living in León. We want to check our Lagos de Moreno next month. It's only an hour away from León, so we'll still be close to family. Very nice. Okay. Oh, we might move there in May if we like it. All right, Benito. Very nice. You're checking it out. So that's what's important.
Hey.
So Temple. Hola, Temple. Thank you for joining. 6 months in Querétaro and 2 in San Luis Potosí sounds fantastic. Indeed. We agree.
Yes. Yes.
And again,
I can tell you one thing in SLP, though. As much as I love that place we were in, I ain't hiking up them stairs again.
Oh,
no. That ain't happening.
We're not getting another walk up.
No.
No. We'll look around. Diana, we're in Mazatlan, part-time. Love it. Very nice.
That is still in the rotation.
It is. Romy, I need to catch up with you guys. Last time I talked to you guys live, it was when you were both renting in Progresso. This is true. And we left Progresso and went to a resort for the holidays.
Yep.
And then on January 2nd, we left the resort and went to 𝙞𝙀𝙨.
And we went to hell.
And it wasn't very good. And we were
nothing against 𝙤𝙀𝙨.
No. It was the Airbnb was not good.
Yeah.
And we ended up scrambling to find last minute accommodations, and we ended up in Playa Car. So we basically transversed the Yucatan twice.
I knew the toll amounts and had them in my hand before I even got close enough to read it. We had crossed that so many times.
Yes.
Yes, the Alamo neighborhood.
neighborhood.
That's right across the carretera from 𝙞𝙀, right there by the aqueduct.
Yeah.
The Arcos.
We like that whole area.
That whole area, to us, it really doesn't matter which side, whether it's the Alamo, whether it's 𝙞𝙀, that whole area.
Was it Caritas?
I think so.
Another one. Yeah.
As long as I can get back down to the Alemán restaurant so I can get some,
Mozart? Amadeus?
Yeah. But it's Alemán. It's a German restaurant.
Yeah.
That was,
right.
And
Arlene is agreeing with you, Mark.
Oh, I know.
There will be
I'm going to bring her a bottle of scotch just to keep me supplied with cigars.
Hey, yes, Lena, thank you. George and David got another subscribe. Boo. Okay. Hola. Thank you for joining us. Ali C. Hawkins. I hope that I'm saying that correctly. Thank you so much for joining us on our live tonight. Let's see. Okay, so truly remarkable life. Well, we will happily have you grace our little hamlet in the mountains. We're looking forward to visiting. Lakeside's one of the most popular ones that people know about when they move to Mexico. So it's definitely.
Besides that, I've been invited to the cigar bar more times than I care to know what to do with it.
Okay, so look here. Lagos de Moreno has amazing architecture. Maybe we need to think about that. Check that out. What's it like? We stayed at the apartment complex adjacent to La Victoria Mall in Querétaro. There are many Airbnbs there. Underground party. We actually had a place saved, and they were the ones that canceled on us 3 weeks before.
3 weeks before we were heading to Mexico, and they went, "Oh, we're sorry. We'll help you find another place, maybe." I mean, it was.
Yeah. We actually were going to stay. It was Latitude. I don't know if that's the same apartment complex that you're talking about. We were going to stay in Latitude, and they canceled on us 3 weeks before our arrival. So Roddy and Landy from Life with Louie, they were not in their house in Zakia. They were actually in Houston, and they rented their house to us regular rent rate. So that was really nice of them to do that, because we were 3 weeks away from hitting the road, and we had no place to go.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why I never liked Airbnb, because I had a history of having hosts cancel on me.
And we honestly can say that short of the 𝙤𝙀𝙨 episode and that episode, everything else has been phenomenal.
I think partly what happens,
partly
what happens, and it does bother me some that not everybody does it. The hosts, they're looking at guest feedback often, just as much as guests are looking at host feedback. And if you don't have any feedback, they're more reluctant to rent to you. And I really didn't have any.
No, because we hadn't really stayed.
Canceling on me, and I wasn't getting any.
And we weren't staying in Airbnbs. So
now that we have really good feedback, and we do have really good feedback.
Well,
the last place that we tried to reserve, I won't say where just yet, but the last place that we tried to reserve, we got grilled. I have never had a host ask so many questions: what we're doing, why we're in Mexico, where we're traveling. I mean, just all kinds of stuff. And so I answered him, although I thought it was odd that he was asking all these somewhat personal things, but I don't know. And he tells me that he was on a flight, and he was happy to get in touch with me when he landed. I answered his questions. He
told him to go look at our
I told him
channel.
check out our channel. They had a no smoking policy. I asked if it was possible for him to smoke outside in the garden. They approved that. They had a no video policy. I told them what we would like to do a video of the Airbnb if we had their permission. And he asked for samples. I showed him those. Come to find out, the guy is a director. He's a television director. And he was literally flying back to the US to do some episodes for HGTV. So,
and he likes her work.
And he likes my work. What kind of a compliment is that? This guy's a pro. And
so are you.
I'm not a pro, but you know, I do this as a hobby. I thought I was very, it was a nice compliment to get.
Yes.
And yeah, so he basically came back and said, you're exactly the type of guest that we would love to have. He goes, I read your reviews. Oh, awesome.
and folks, this is a house like none we have rented.
And we're not going to talk about it.
We're not going to say any more than that, but it is definitely something different.
It's going to be unique. It's going to make for some interesting video.
Yes, it is.
If he lets us.
And we have to have a discussion with him about how we want to present the house.
Yes, he said they want to discuss if we want to do they want to discuss with us how we would like to present the house. Like he's like serious. Like, okay, we'll see how that goes. Hey, Cloud. All right, Cloud.
Thank you, Claude.
Subscribe. Thank you. We're going to get George and David over that hump. I'm telling you what.
Yep.
And all right,
Alicia.
another. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you so much. Another subscriber for George and David. Hola, nature lovers. So nice to see you on here tonight. Thank you. Let's see. Is Puerto Vallarta still in rotation? Absolutely. It is.
It was open for some serious discussion there for a while. And I think that is still, not that it's going out of the rotation, but we were doing that and Sayulita, and then we have to go to San Pancho for a little bit. I mean, just
come on now, Sean in Paradise.
Sean in Paradise. I mean, you know,
I got to go up there and hang with Sean.
Yeah. So yes, it is still in the rotation. You know.
Oh, look, Annie. We love Querétaro, and with Gringos or Us, it can only get better. I think it's just better when you're with friends. Friends mean so much. And when you're sitting on your living room couch in your home country and you're trying to decide where you're going to travel, where you're going to live, and how you're going to do it, you're not even taking into consideration the fact that you may have friends.
Well,
and they matter.
And quite honestly, I mean, we also didn't take into consideration, we were running on adrenaline when we were doing all this because we were fired up, ready to get the hell out of the U.S. And so we were pumped up about doing this, and we're still pumped about doing it.
Oh, Lord.
But the problem is
pump the jam, pump it up.
We really didn't take into consideration that, you know what, we're also aging as we're down here. I mean, it's, it's only a year, but
speak for yourself. My brain says I'm 30.
Well, your brain can say all it wants to.
My body says no.
When my ass is hauling that stuff up and down stairs, it tells me, yeah, you're 60-something now. So
you are. I'm shaking the table.
I know you are.
Hey, Mary, subscribe to George and David. Yay!
Well, we might have them there at the end of this.
So what it's like, that's the place. So it was Latitude.
Yep.
They are condos, so maybe a different unit. Yeah.
Yeah, it just happened to be that way. And, and then when we tried to rebook another unit in there, we couldn't find it. I mean, it was
when somebody cancels on you so close to your arrival, everything else that you had saved as a favorite is pretty much not there anymore, because if somebody stays so much as 3 days in that place
in the middle of a 2-month stay, it's no longer on the market. Right. And with the holidays being in there, that really made it difficult. Yeah. And so one of the reasons there's a multitude of them that we chose Querétaro, number one is we love the city. Number two, we love all of our friends up there. and we have a boatload of them. But number 3 is that Romy and Lee's are there from my place at Querétaro. And
we love Romy and Lee's.
We do love us some Romy and Lee's. And they are 2 of the best real estate people in all of Querétaro. And getting a 6-month lease is not easy. And we really would like not to have to pay 6 months of Airbnb if we can avoid that. And
you mean you don't want to pay $18,000?
No. And so, the first call we made or WhatsApp we did was, hey, we're thinking about coming to Querétaro. Can we get, a 6-month lease? And, they're like, no, those are difficult, but, because it's the 2 of you, I think we can probably work something out. And so, that's knowing that we have somebody who's going to be there to help us navigate that whole landscape of getting a lease done for 6 months and everything else. And, how to work with, okay, is it going to be furnished? If it's not furnished, what do we do? And those 2 know all the ins and outs of the game.
Everything.
And
they know everything and everybody.
So it's like, okay, we're giving them plenty of notice, and we're already going, do you need a list from us? Do you need this? And I know they're sitting there going, you do realize that it's only January and you're not coming for another 11 months.
Yeah, well, we're giving them plenty of lead time. Alfredo says, when you make plans, make sure you plan to change them.
That's exactly right.
That's so
Plan
true.
your work your plan, and then rework your plan.
That's right. And Miguel, hola Miguel, 5 years in a snowbird beach town, but have traveled to cities away from the ocean. This year, a month in SLP, August area. Nice. Finding it much more reasonable in the mainland.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
And if you can stay in the 𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙤 barrio,
we love that neighborhood so much.
Our opinion, that is one of the best neighborhoods in all of SLP is the 𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙤.
It was very nice.
Yes.
The only downside to San Luis that I could think of, and it's not just San Luis, the water table.
Well,
the water issues in general, because they have water scarcity. And I know that when we were there, they were down to like 15% capacity in the reservoir. And we were there right at the end of dry season. And so they had already asked all the residents to try to
curtail their usage by 50%.
Yeah. And we totally get that.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of living there.
Yes, it is. I mean, that's
part of living there. Yeah. But we still love it there.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Pawpaw, we missed the news. Had to deal with helping a neighbor dog. What did we miss? Okay, Pawpaw. Here's the short end of it.
Well, you do that.
Okay. I'm going to wait till he moves because these chairs are noisy. All right. Okay. So the short version of it is we have travel fatigue. And we were starting to really feel very worn out with the regular movements, particularly after this episode with 𝙞𝙀𝙀, where we literally drove from one side of the Yucatan to 𝙞𝙀𝙀 and back again in 36 hours and moving all of our stuff. And we were already dragging, but I think we knew it, and we have fatigue. And we decided that we need to, the month to month, the 1 month back-to-back stays. We had already eliminated those to no more than 2 of those at a time. But we were just sitting around going, you know what? We need a break. We need to stay someplace a little longer this time and catch our breath and just get rejuvenated. And we decided that we're going to do a 6-month stay in Querétaro near the end of next year. And then we're going to do 2 more months in San Luis Potosí because we always felt we didn't have enough time there. And we eliminated a few places from our original plans, like Puerto Escondido.
And then we shortened some other stays.
Acapulco got knocked out. We don't think Acapulco will be ready for us because it was so soon after the hurricane.
And another thing to be to take into consideration is Querétaro has always been very high on the list. And so, doing 6 months in Querétaro is serves two purposes. Number one, it's going to allow us to recharge our batteries. Number two, it's going to give us, because to be fair, when we hit Querétaro, we were deer in a headlight. I mean, we were just across the border.
We were new. We were gringos. We were,
and we were just,
we were living in a suburb.
And we were totally in awe of everything because we had not had any experience really in doing this. And so, by the time we get there, we'll have had, 24 months in Mexico. And so we view it totally differently. Still love it and everything else, but we are more experienced and we have a better understanding of what to expect.
Right.
And what we may have found to be exciting at one point, we don't know if that was because it was the newness or was it that exciting to us?
We can be more critical about it.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's, I missed one. There we go. Just curious. Oh, hello, 𝙞𝙀𝙢𝙀. Thank you for joining us. Just curious, out of all the places you stayed so far, which city do you like the most?
Yep.
I've been saying all along that of the 7 places we stayed our first year, the favorites were Querétaro, San Luis Potosí, and Mérida. But I know we're going to let this out. I think Mérida is falling into 3rd place. And it's mostly.
Well, I think it was always in 3rd place, but I think what's happened is there's been a bigger gap that has occurred between the top 2 and the other 5.
Honestly, Mérida was the most expensive. I had always thought.
Coming soon to a video to you, we are doing the 2023 financial wrap.
We're gonna do the entire year in review. The Progresso cost of living video is the next video coming out, if not tomorrow, the next day, and then after that it's going to be 2023 in review. Sorry, I got a tickle again.
Want a beer?
No, I do not want a beer. Oh my God. I'll have a tickle and I'll be throwing up too. Gross. But Mérida proved to be the most expensive place we stayed. And that's part of the symptom of the Yucatan Peninsula right now. It is the highest rate of inflation.
Well, and it's also a symptom of the fact that Mérida is a hot property right now. I mean, when you are rated the number 2 safest city in all of North America, that gets a lot of people's, their radar goes, where? I can move to Mexico and I can be totally safe, because a lot of people have that misconception of, Mexico's not safe, which we're not going to even go into that, because we all know that that's not the case. Yes, there are places that we don't want to go, but enough of that. But because of that, they're getting a lot of influx of not only, Canadians and America, people from the United States, but they're also getting a big influx from people within Mexico. And,
they are.
And so, the city is just exploding in the growth department. And it's a great city and we loved it and everything else. But, people like Denise, who got in, 2 years ago, she nailed it at just the right time, cost-wise, and bought her house and everything else. And she's going to realize a tremendous growth, on the value of her house, because they're just the real estate market is exploding. So, I think we can safely say that Querétaro and SLP are up here, and then the rest of them there's a gap.
There's a little bit of a gap.
I mean, Mérida is here.
I like Mérida a lot. I like Mérida better than Progresso, but both cities were quite expensive, and frankly, PDC is expensive. So, and I'll bet money Tulum will also be expensive. but we'll know. We'll know more. So the two favorite, I'm going to say we don't really have a favorite. Our two favorites as far as the city itself and living there and the environment would be Querétaro and San Luis Potosí.
Well,
so far.
And you also have to factor this in because this is something that actually is a huge influence. And that is, those also are two cities that we have probably the most friends in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, the human aspect of it really starts to come into play because you're going, okay, hold on. If I'm going to live someplace, we got, Anivet and Arlene, Lise and Romy, Cesar, Juan Ho, and the list just keeps going. Or we got Mark and Paulette and Wayne up in SLP. And all those make a difference. And here's another outlier or factor that goes into it is we're able to get more because of HEB. We're able to get more familiar products in the grocery store,
grocery products,
and that when you start going, wow, we haven't been able to find brown gravy mix. I'm
literally muling a giant container of McCormick brown gravy mix from the United States back into Mexico.
It's things like we could find, Snyder's of New Hanover pretzels in Querétaro, turkey gravy, stuffing, mix, things like that just, make small, but those small things can be huge.
Those small things are like a special meal, maybe once a month or something, just something, something that reminds you of what you grew up on.
Well,
and that goes a long way into your well-being and your mental health, just to have that little bit of comfort. So yeah, HEB carries a lot of that stuff.
And 𝙤𝙬 there up by El Paseo, Querétaro, they had Mountain Dew.
Oh God, yeah, but we're not going to talk about how much that Mountain Dew costs.
$1 a can.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Hey, Anivet, no doubt your content is amazing. Thank you. I think it's really cool that a TV director had a nice thing to say about it. So I'm cool with that. Hola, Pedrosa Travel. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Very good to see you here. Hi, Craig.
Hey, Craig.
Hey, Craig. What's up? Hope you are doing great. We hope you're doing great as well. Thank you. And hola, Lorenzo. Saludos desde León, Guanajuato. So let me see. I'm going to see if I can say this now. Hello or salutations from León, Guanajuato. I'm getting better. Hey, guys. Ooh, this really happened to me today. I answered a phone call coming in on my Telcel SIM card. And I have a special ringtone. It's Spanish fluenced music. That's how I know it's my Telcel card. So I answered it with much reservation because I'm expecting a package to be delivered today. It was DHL delivering Mark's cigars. The guy speaks no English, and he's trying to ask me to confirm the address. And I got through it.
You did very well.
I got through it.
You did better than that than I did with the guy from KFC the other day who was, I think it was from KFC. That was a nightmare.
Yeah.
But then again, every time we've tried to order from KFC, it's been a nightmare.
Michelle.
Hello, Michelle.
Hola, thank you for joining us. And Tanya. Hello, Tanya. Thank you. And you subscribe with Georgia and David. Awesome.
We're going to get them there.
Yes, we are. Hola, Ricky. You're not that late. I hope you got to hear the news. Basically, we're going to have a 6-month stay in Querétaro so that we can catch our breath.
Okay. So, we talked about the part that we're good. We're not going north of the border. The other part is we're not going anywhere as far as YouTube is concerned. We're not taking a break because, first of all, you guys may not realize how important all of you are as a family to us, because I mean, there are some of you that have been around since, we did the pet video when we had to put the boys down, and that was in May of 2022. And a lot of you have been around. Some of you, like Cindy and people like that, were around before that, and a lot of you were around from the interview with Ernie. But you guys have all become like family with us, and that's important to us. It really is. So nothing's changing as far as the channel. Nothing's changing as far as we're concerned. We're just going to take 6 months and not move.
Basically.
That's it.
And I'm hoping that in those 6 months, we can actually maybe go do a whole week into 𝙤𝙖𝙢𝙀. And we can check out some other places.
And quite honestly, that's going to give us the ability to sort of also go, okay, when we finally pick the spot, what are we going to start doing for content? So it's going to force us to start thinking outside the box a little bit in a different way and go, okay, this is, we have this little routine now. Okay, we get to a place, we show you our Airbnb, we bounce around to a few places that are around that place. Then we do a wrap up, and then we share the expenses, and then we're off to someplace else. So it's allowed us to really develop a little bit of a routine as to how we're, the content has been. This is going to force us to have to go, all right, now we're going to have to start thinking a little bit to go, what are we going to do now?
Maybe you could order me. Oh, never mind. I was going to say something I shouldn't. Never mind. Never mind.
Oh, you can share it with me later. That's
I'll
okay.
share it with you later. Okay. So, 𝙤𝙤𝙖𝙢𝙀. I was just in Cabo last week, and I couldn't believe that food meals were more expensive than here in super costly San Diego. I was shocked. Prices doubled there over the last year. They have. The prices have doubled, and you're constantly going to hear people here. All right, look. All right. Economics.
Okay.
Economics. Look, the president has been raising minimum wage 20% every year for the last 3 years?
Here in Mexico. We're not talking stuff on the other side.
So look, logic follows. If you pay people
5
more,
years. It's been 5 years.
If you pay people more, the cost to pay those people goes up. That cost is passed on to the products, which other people then have to buy. So we're not saying people should not have a livable wage. They absolutely should. But if you raise that wage, everything else follows. You raise the wage, everything else raises. So yeah, prices have doubled in the past year.
Well,
what happens? I know. It's still less than the U.S. I guess I can keep saying it because we don't know what the U.S. prices are right now. So somebody brought up a comment on the Pharmacia video about it's still cheaper in the U.S. and it took me a second of looking at it. I said, you know what? One of the problems that we have, having been down here now for 14 months, is we've really become out of touch with the price that is across the border. And we really are now starting to think in pesos and not think in dollars. And so it's unless of course I'm looking at Swiss cheese and I go, I'm not paying $10 for Swiss cheese.
I did the same thing with a box of Captain Crunch we saw the other day, and it was 168 pesos. And I went, oh hell no, I'm not spending $10 for a box of Captain Crunch. But but we have, the mind has shifted more to thinking of things in a peso driven monetary unit than in the dollar. And so we were sort of blown away by the fact that, okay, yes, we got the Cipro, and the Cipro was 550 pesos, and for the same 550 pesos we got all the tramadol, and we got this and we got that, and so that's what we were sort of blown away with. But the common the person making the comment was 100% correct in that even the 550 pesos is
It's
still
still less.
cheaper than what we would have paid in the U.S. Now, granted, Cipro is not an expensive, prescription, but you got to go get a sick visit, which means a copay and everything else. And so, $30 for a copay for a sick visit, which is, I think, what it was when we left,
Depends on how good your insurance is.
again, and suddenly that's more than what we paid for the Cipro itself.
Yeah.
So
Diane says the 6-month stay is super smart. Get your bearings back. Thank you, Diane. We think so too. And we're hoping that it's going to really recharge us and just rejuvenate the whole mindset about traveling again.
I'm agreeing with everything but one part.
What's that?
Back. I don't know if I've ever had my bearings. I mean,
Arlene, we are loving it that you guys are coming to Querétaro. I know. And you know what, Denise? And as we kept saying, we have friends in these cities, And to be fair, we have Denise and we have Wim, who was basically the property manager when we stayed in Mérida. They are our friends. In fact, Wim has put the owners of the house that we rented in touch with us because they are excited about sharing with us the renovations that they have done on the house because they knew from the property manager how much we loved that house. And so now I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, and they ripped that spiral stairway of death out and took out the ceiling and
they put in an oven
and
they did things.
And they put in an air conditioner AC unit in that front room up there.
Good.
Well, it still wasn't help where you were at, but no. I mean, but they've made some changes and that's really gonna there were only a few things that were wrong with that house and the oven was the first thing I said and they're solving that, which there was plenty of room to do. The other thing I would have done was I would have put in a barn door for the garage doors, sliding door. That just would have been a lot easier.
But Denise is saying, I love living in Mérida, but if I were living in Mexico in 2024, I would not choose this city again. The prices have gotten really crazy. Denise, we noticed it. We did. We noticed it.
But
we still loved it. We loved it there.
Denise is sitting on the gold mine because hers is just going to keep going up.
Yeah,
so she timed it just right.
That's right. That's right. Terry, hello, gringos. Mark, I know what it's like to eat those Krispy Kreme donuts when they are coming off that line.
Damn, Skippy, those things you don't even have to chew them. You put them in your mouth and they just melt.
He inhales them like.
There's nothing left. You put a hot Krispy Kreme in your mouth and it just melts. And all you have to do is swallow. Yeah.
And Jenny, I'm secretly rooting for SLP. I stopped there on my drive down and I'm also drawn to go back. It's a great city.
It is.
It was an unsuspecting surprise.
I can honestly say that between the two, Querétaro and SLP, first of all, we would not go wrong in either location.
Ooh, check this out. Arlene, our house already went up in our barrio, and it's only a year that we bought the house. Yeah. The prices just, they're going up.
Well, and these are the two, Annie, Bet, and Arlene. If anybody wants to talk about what you can do in Mexico, in 5 weeks, they arrived in the country, got a bank account, bought a car, bought a house, all as temporary residents. So
whirlwind. They did it.
But then don't get in the way of these two girls because when they make up their mind, done.
Camille says, great. I'll be in Mérida in March, following the real estate curve in Mérida. And you're right. It's crazy. Yeah. We're watching it balloon for real. You know what happens though, when things balloon like that? Eventually they pop. It'll happen.
Always does.
Eventually. Marlene says the best thing is that we only paid 33.19 pesos for taxes for the year. Insane. That is
that's
crazy.
Less than $200. And I know what Annie, Bet, and Arlene were paying in California for their house they would have taken $200 a month in taxes and been happy.
Yeah.
Much less $200 for a year.
Denise, I almost moved to Querétaro just because they have an HEB. Look, we're not saying that we don't like shopping Mexican. We do. We do.
But every once in a while,
sometimes you just want that thing, whatever that thing is that you miss and you can't find anywhere else. And HEB will often have it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the Walmart will too. But
HEB,
so
that whole, all of them, the Walmart, the HEB, and the Chedraui, all of them had,
and the Costco,
you know, had these items. You know.
Oh, speaking of Costco, we thought that Costco in Merida was just like wild and hopping all the time, nowhere to park, place is crazy. You ain't seen nothing till you try to shop at the Chedraui or the Walmart close to it here in Playa del Carmen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a constant surfing around to look for a place to park. We even went into the garage under the Walmart and couldn't find a place to park.
And did the dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I was all around looking for one. And
we went into one of them. I can't remember which. We couldn't even find a cart. There were no carts.
Well, yeah, that was the one I had to go back downstairs.
That was the Walmart. It was the Walmart. Yeah. So they had the escalator. That's right. So
I had to ride up the escalator with the cart.
We thought that Merida Costco was something. Woo, baby.
And that one is always hopping.
Yeah. So Papa, what you got here? Just being honest here, as soon as my very elderly father-in-law. Oh, yeah. And then to continue, checks out, we're headed to SLP. SLP is a great place. It's got a lot going for it. It's got charm.
Thank you, Jenny. We appreciate you coming in.
It's coming in. Thanks, Jenny. Have a good night. Buenas noches.
Yeah, going to SLP. I mean, we're going to have a hard time. If it were just, let's say we stopped right now and we had to decide between SLP and Querétaro, that's going to take some thought.
We got to think about it.
Yeah. But fortunately, we still got almost 3 years to think about it.
We really haven't been close to actual Querétaro. We were living in a suburb, so it's really hard to make a fair assessment of that. So, all right. Patsy, gracias. Love your video. Awesome. Great job. Thank you so much. And yes, Diane, from the start. That's right. You were there. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, gosh. Let's see here. Wilfredo, what you up to? I'm going to Querétaro kind of every other month, getting ready to permanently move on July, August. Last week, I bought all appliances and put them in a storage place. We'll be neighbors. Well, you know what that means.
See, now we get to
now
I got another friend that's going to be in Querétaro.
That's right. See?
So when we're sitting there with Annie Vet and Arlene and Lisa and Romy, we can have Cesar, we can have Wilfredo.
Yep.
You know, I mean.
Yep. And Denise, you're right. 6 months in one spot will be great. You can do side trips without having to cart all your stuff. Yes. Yes. And we'll have more time to do side trips. Now, this new contract that we think is going to be mine, it's for a year with probable extensions. The person who did my interview kind of let it slip out that it's 3 months. 3 years.
3 years. Yeah.
3 years. Okay.
But
what that means is 40-hour work weeks and running on the weekends.
But this is contract work.
Yeah.
Just because they anticipate it lasting this long, it could also go 6 months and be, you know what, we're done.
Yeah.
And
it's happened. I've seen it happen.
And so, you know, it's sort of it's nice to look forward, and this is what it's all projected to be. But there's no guarantee that projection is what it's going to be.
But my point is I should be working.
Yeah.
And if I'm working, the trips are going to have to be for the weekends. So, you know, we could go to Lindo.
Oh.
Hacienda Lindo and spend the weekend. That would be so nice. That was a cool place.
Oh, I'm already planning on doing that. That's
and we can go
we got to drive right by El Pueblito, which means we stop, we pick up the girls, we go to Hacienda Lindo, and gee, what do they do on a Saturday night down there? they do karaoke. We get to hear Miss Arlene belt out some blues.
Nice.
I'm just
nice. And Lisa, yep.
Yep,
been
you
with from the
have.
start. Yes, you have. And Suzanne, hope to meet you when you're in SLP. Good luck with your travels. Thank you, Suzanne. We appreciate that.
We will definitely be there.
Look who's popped in. There's no need for more than a day in Sayulita. Well, we'll have to think about that. Let's see. In Alfredo, I was the 975th subscriber.
We're getting there.
It's nice, Georgia David. 25 more, girl.
I mean, we were at 9. I think when we went to dinner with them last week, it was 9:31. So they're butting right up against it now.
That's right. We're gonna get them up there. Let's see. And in BC, Canada, minimum wage is $16.75.
Is that $1.25 in US dollars? No, I'm joking. I mean, I remember.
That, you know what? That seems low.
I
know the U.S. has been pushing for an across the board federal minimum wage of $15 is what they've been pushing for. $16.75 in Canadian seems lower than that to me. I don't really know my conversion too well, but that seems low. You know, I don't know how I feel about that. The thing is if you live in Antlers, Oklahoma, $15 goes a whole hell of a lot further than it would in San Diego.
Well,
you know,
let's be for real. Even further than it would go in Oklahoma City, in the same state.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
it's really hard. That's a hard one because it's all relative to the cost of living where you live.
You know, $15 in Bryson City versus $15 in Asheville, and we're only talking a short distance away from each other.
Yep.
But they are worlds apart as far as economics.
Hola, Bill and Trisha. Are you planning to visit the smaller cities outside of Mexico City?
Eventually.
Yes.
Visit.
At this point in time, there'll be visits. Of course, when we finally pick a city to live in, the idea is that we're going to lease at least 1 year. And that gives us time then to actually go visit other places as a visit. It also gives us time to do things like, I don't know, drive a bus or ride the bus instead of driving. Or things like that. You know, we don't really want to drive around Mexico City.
Not in a bus, anyway.
No, you know what I mean.
I don't want to drive our car in Mexico City, much less a bus.
I know. For the Yucatan, part of it is also extreme amount of travel desire going on right now. You're right.
Oh my God!
I mean, that should hopefully slow down in the next couple of years. Yeah, people are so what's the
ready
word?
to travel.
They've been locked down for so long they can't wait to get out.
They're ready to travel. They were unable to. Now they're ready to. And when right now where we're at, they are at 98% capacity.
Yep.
Including Airbnbs, hotels, and that's why we had a hard time finding a place. We're going. Please, somebody take us for 7 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh.
We had a hard time finding a place for a solid 7 weeks, and we ended up back here. Oh, Denise had an earache the other day, and it was under $20 for the doctor and the antibiotic ear drops. Yep. You pick a place you love, and I will come visit. Aw, we can't ask for more than that.
I don't know if we're gonna be able to find an Italian restaurant though as good as Latrato.
No, Latrato was really good.
I mean yeah.
Lena says that Tim and I can really relate to the travel fatigue. We spent 6 months in an RV on a Western U.S. tour, and it became exhausted.
Yeah, that's
you don't count on that when you're planning these things. You're like, oh, we could do this and this and this and this,
and you're running on the adrenaline of doing it.
Yeah.
And then when the grind of doing it is suddenly upon you, you start going, oh.
Anna wants to know, is the cost of medical going up a lot? We've had a couple of procedures in Cancun, and it was very reasonable. It is always very reasonable in Mexico in comparison to Canada, Europe, or the United States.
We really can't speak because,
knock
on wood, we haven't really had anything that's occurred we've had to go, all right, let me dig in the pocket and,
No,
and pay
I mean,
for
yeah,
it.
we haven't had any planned procedures. One of these days, I'm waiting until we settle down and the expenses aren't going out the window in Airbnbs and stuff. I have some things I would like to have done.
Well, me too.
You know, I mean, I'm thinking no more turkey neck and jowls would be really nice, frankly. But otherwise, we haven't really had the need to use a doctor. I can say that we had annual physical lab work done, and depending on the exchange rate, it cost us between $60 and $70 per person to have what would have cost well over $1,000 in lab work done in the United States. It was like $60 to $70 here. So I think medically speaking, you know, you can go into get a consultation next to the pharmacia, and it will only cost you maybe a donation, or it might cost you 200 pesos. I mean, that's nothing. But for actual like specialists and things like that, it's always seems like it's less expensive here.
Yes.
As to having the background information as to whether the costs have fluctuated due to inflation, we really wouldn't have that information because we haven't had to use any medical providers.
Thank God.
And we've only been here about a year and a half, so not much to compare there. But thank you for the question. And let's see, did we join IMSS? Oh, yep, come on, there you go. Come on back. There we go.
I didn't know if it was the beer or the lens.
No,
I
gosh,
just
no.
was like,
Did you join IMSS? No, did not. Haven't even had an opportunity to think about looking into that. We have Nomad insurance through Safety Wing.
which we just renewed.
We just renewed it and they did not raise the rates. So we think that the rates are based on a bracket of age, not the age, but maybe like a 4-year gap of ages.
They know I'm just still healthy. Yeah.
So our rates didn't go up. The Nomad insurance is equivalent to something like
Travelers catastrophic
Yeah.
insurance.
traveler's insurance. When I tried to get a traveler's insurance plan that would cover us for longer than 2 weeks, the rates were through the roof, insane. And Safety Wing offers basically the equivalency of traveler's insurance only for basically for the world, but not your home country.
And that changed.
No, they have a different plan.
Thought you said that they now would cover us if we went home.
Oh, that's a different clause. I'm
Oh,
talking.
okay.
I'll tell you in a minute. But you can buy a Nomad insurance plan, and it basically means that you're covered internationally, just not your home country, and it's for all the catastrophic stuff. So for regular things, we just pay out of the pocket, essentially. So when he went to go get hearing aids, for example, we just paid for the hearing aids. We went and got our lab work done. We just paid for the lab work.
Yeah,
we haven't had the need for a doctor for anything else yet. But if we did, consultorios are pretty inexpensive. Yeah. If it was a hospital visit, if it required a hospital visit, Safety Wing would cover that. Safety Wing also did add, it's relatively new, they will cover you for emergency care in your home country if you're in your home country for a period less than 15 days. And I guess they can check that. Excuse me.
Well, they can easily check that just by your passport.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
an add-on because that was something they never. Gosh, I got a tickle so bad. I'm so sorry. No, go away. So no, we didn't join IMSS, and I don't know if this is true, but I have heard that we could walk into an IMSS medical facility
with our
residency cards, and they would still treat us. That's what I've heard.
I would just soon not have to try and find that out.
Exactly.
I mean, just I would hope that our game plan is, and this is sort of rolling the dice, us sitting at this, at the craps table, going, we're going to roll them down there. Until we find a home, it's sort of just been, let's just keep rolling with this. Yeah.
And that's the other thing. By this time, it was anticipated that we would have sat down with the healthcare insurance broker, and we would have a healthcare insurance plan. That hasn't happened yet. And a lot of the reason that it hasn't happened yet is because we're moving around so much. And it's making it difficult to find the right person in the right city in the right period of time when we're there, and everybody's availability to have this discussion.
And quite honestly, our desire, or not desire, it's not that that's the wrong word, the energy to go, you know what, because when you were working, we couldn't do it during the week. And then it's just been, boom, 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 boom. And I think that getting into the set routine on a permanent basis is going to make a lot of difference.
Yeah.
Because right now there isn't that set routine. It's just,
So we're basically self-insured for normal, everyday, day in, day out things. And we have catastrophic insurance through Safety Wing, through their Nomad insurance plan. And that's how we're paying for things for now.
Yep.
That could obviously change. Life is very fluid for us, it seems. 2 HEBs in Querétaro. Yes, we know. There's more than that, though. There's more of them. There's more of them.
They're building HEBs in Querétaro.
They built a new one.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. There's one at the Mirador. They're building them quickly.
They built one that is quite literally a 5 to 6 minute ride from Calesa.
Yep.
From Colonia Calesa.
Yeah, they're building HEBs quickly in Querétaro.
They just love them there. And well, no. Okay, so it sounds like Querétaro is the final destination. No, it's not. We still have 2.5 years of travel to do.
Mm-hmm.
We're just making a stop in Querétaro just for familiarity, to relax, to see parts of Querétaro we never got to see.
If I were a Vegas sports book, I would say that they probably are the odds-on favorite right now. But there's a lot of things that are going to occur between now and our Super Bowl of picking the final destination. So
yeah. And you're right, Greg. There's 4 Walmarts in Playa.
Yeah.
The thing is we're in walking distance to some of these places, and we tried Chedraui one day, we tried Walmart another day.
Mm-hmm. And we went back to Chedraui at a different time of day and actually found a parking place.
Yeah, it wasn't too terribly bad.
By the time we came out, I mean, we were there at 9 in the morning. By the time we finished, dun, 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 dun,
people were surfing for parking.
The sharks were going around. As Jimmy Buffett would have said, there's fins to the left, fins to the right, because they were all going around us.
Yeah, they're trying to find a place to park. It's not the only place we can go. We're actually going to make a trip to the mall because my new Galaxy S24 Ultra AI was picked up today from the DHL. And why did I have to go to DHL to pick it up? Well,
why did you have to go to DHL and pick that up?
I ordered that phone on Samsung.com/Mex or .mex, whatever, Mexico's version of it. And in the United States, when you do a trade-in, you're supposed to take the box with the new phone and put your old phone in it and send it back to them. And they deduct the amount of the trade-in from your price that you paid for the phone
right at the beginning.
At the very beginning. And if it doesn't meet their specs, they're going to charge back.
Yep.
So in Mexico, what they do, and I wasn't expecting this, but I wasn't finding any way or any labeling, any instructions, nothing in the box about this return. In Mexico, you pay for the phone up front, all of it. And they give you an estimated value of what your return is going to be on your trade-in. You get your phone, and then you go take your old phone to a Samsung store so they can evaluate it. And then the Samsung store writes something to the finance department, and I guess you get a receipt.
It's a voucher, basically, saying this is what we value it at.
And then they refund that amount to the charge card you used to buy the phone. So far, not too bad. But here's the problem. Why did I have to pick it up at DHL? Well, when I was on the Samsung site doing the pre-sale, one of the things that I grabbed because I was supposed to get like basically the equivalent of $50 toward an accessory item for doing the pre-sale. And I wasn't sure how that was going to work. Well, I'll tell you how it worked. They sent me the coupon the next day. By this time, my sale's already done. I didn't care.
Well,
It was done.
and the other
Compared to how much I paid for this phone, the $50 was nothing.
And the other thing that they were supposedly offering that you didn't get the offer for was the Samsung watch.
No, I didn't.
I know.
No. I wasn't supposed to get any Samsung watch.
Now the Samsung watch is available for free when you buy the S24.
Oh, well, they're adding that on now. I don't care.
Just saying.
Didn't want it, don't have it. So the point is I order a phone, a case, and earbuds. Now the phone and the case are brand new. This is pre-sale, and I guess it takes them a few days to tally up how many sales they made. And one of the things they offer during the pre-sale is they double your memory on the phone. And this made sense to me as I had previously bought Samsung phones in the past. It could never get a terabyte. I could never get a terabyte. They never had it. And if I asked for it, it was going to take 3 or 4 weeks for them to ship it to me. So I always went with 512 gig. So I get a terabyte during pre-sale. And that upgrade was considered a free double your memory upgrade. So now I got the phone, the case, the earbuds in my cart. The phone and the case are new. Take some time to package that and ship it. The earbuds they've had for a while. Earbuds go out right away. They ship the earbuds. The earbuds come to me last week. So they're here. They come. I get them.
To the door.
To the door.
Well, sort of to the door.
But the point is they got delivered to the right place.
Yes.
I get a notice yesterday that they can't find my address for the phone. I need to update my address. I go in and I look. I don't know what the heck they got written in there. Like, who wrote this out from Samsung? How did they get the earbuds right, but the phone is not right? So I tried to update my address. I'm trying to do this on a Mexican site. I'm translating back and forth in English. Finally, I said, screw it. Apparently, I can actually have it delivered to the DHL location and just go pick it up. That's what I did.
Okay.
That's what I did. So let's see. Ola from Chicago. Hey, Chris.
Hola, Chris.
How are you? I look forward to your videos every week. We're 2 years away from retiring to Mexico. Very good. Very good.
And part of, she brings up a very good point. Part of what we alluded to was that, we sort of went quiet because we ran out of energy. We really did. And so what we're working on getting back into, and I say we, because getting back into the whole normal routine of dropping a couple a week. And it just, we hit that, we hit the wall. I mean, honestly, after 𝙤𝙬𝙀, that just sort of sucked us dry.
I think it did. I think 𝙤𝙬𝙀 sucked our energy completely. We had just spent 10 days in a resort doing nothing.
And we didn't anticipate dropping anything there because we were like,
and we felt we were feeling so good and recharged and relaxed and everything. And then I think 𝙤𝙬𝙀 just took all the wind out of our sails. Yeah,
it did.
That's all. It's unfortunate. I would have loved to stay there and learn about the history of the town. I guess that'll have to be a visit.
A visit somewhere down the road.
Yeah. Truly remarkable life. You'll enjoy getting to know a place better being there longer. Your travel stamina has been impressive. Well, thank you very much.
Hey guys, we need to last one more year, 11 months.
We can do it. We can do it.
I know.
Some of our stays are longer than they normally are too, so I'm happy. Make your own gravy. We can't accept turkey gravy's hard, guys. It's hard.
Well, it's hard to find turkey down here.
Chicken gravy doesn't cut it. No. Well, once you have turkey gravy, you don't want chicken gravy.
But I use like the brown gravy mix when I make beef stew and things like that. That's sort of my broth in there. Because another thing that is extremely difficult to find down here, that we found easier to find in the Highlands than we do down here in the Yucatan, is res, just
Beef broth.
Beef
Just
broth.
res.
Yeah,
It's hard.
I'm thinking in Spanish, but beef
Yeah.
broth, it's difficult to find. And so, trying to make things like beef stew just gets difficult. And so it's a whole lot easier.
Yeah. Hola, Janice. Querétaro's climate seems to be temperate.
Yes.
Yes, it is. And so it's kind of like spring weather year round. I'm not going to lie. In the winter time, it could get down into, I want to say upper 30s. It got chilly, and I would use a space heater in the morning.
Look, all you have to do is look at the thumbnail they'll find the right place for you. And that'll tell you who lives in Querétaro and
true.
who just moved to Querétaro, because Lee's in Romy's in her puffy coat.
They're in puffy coats.
And I'm in a tank top.
Yeah.
And so it's adjusting to it. But yeah, it was, I mean, for that Christmas, I was walking around a windbreaker.
But
and
it'll be chilly in the morning, and then
hot.
it'll be hot in the afternoon.
Not hot. Not Yucatan hot.
No. But it'll be hot in the afternoon.
Yeah.
It'll be somewhat uncomfortable sometimes.
I still worked on a tan there.
And it's because especially in the house, because they've got almost always really big glass paned windows and doors to let all the light in, all that beautiful natural light. Well, it also bakes everything inside, behind the glass.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the houses will not have heat, and they will not have air conditioning. Not always, but a lot won't, because they typically don't really need it or use it.
And more often than not, they're going to have one or the other. They will actually have a fireplace in certain rooms, because they'll use that more than they need the air. So.
And I will also say Querétaro is dusty, but I think it's more dusty the further outside the city you get.
Woo.
When you start getting into all the developments, the fraccionamientos that they're building, and there's a lot of dust.
I mean, we had a lot of dust in Zacatecas, and that's just because the construction that's going on there was nonstop.
Yeah, and
B, it's elevated, and it was surrounded by open area, and so once it started moving around and blowing,
and your skin will just drink the body lotion because it's very dry.
One rubs the lotion.
It rubs the lotion on its skin. That's right. That's what I do. Benito, I had a medical episode in July. I was in the hospital for 3 weeks. I have no CURP, so they charged us the max, which was less than $600 for the hospitalization. Bravo.
And
thank you for sharing that.
$600 would have gotten you 2 aspirins in the hospital in the U.S.
Oh, isn't that ridiculous?
I mean,
no charge for the ER, 4 surgeries, follow-up care. We did have to pay for a wound vac, which cost us about $1,000 USD to rent and change the sponges. No charge for 5 months of weekly wound care. That's excellent.
Outstanding. And thank you for sharing the story.
Yes, thank you. It's good to know. That's helpful for us and for anyone's watching.
Everybody.
Hola, Raul.
Hey, Raul.
Looking forward to seeing you again in Querétaro. Woohoo! We've been here for a year now, and we love it. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Because they're in 𝙤𝙀.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. What it's like. I was quoted 500,000 K policy from Mexico expat through Red Bridge. Oh, wait. Let me get down to the next part.
I hope there's a second half of that.
$2,000 deductible, $3,336 per year, 52-year-old male. Okay, so I know we're spending $237 a month.
Times 12.
Times 12. So we're spending $2,844 a year for both of us in total for nomad insurance for catastrophic.
That really is a good policy.
Yeah,
I would have to say that.
Bad.
I mean, in my opinion, and by no means an expert, but I think that's a pretty good deal that you got going there.
Yeah, like 33360, and then divide by 12 because my math sucks.
Oh my God.
278. Right?
Yeah.
Boom. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Mark, how are you feeling about your Panteras? And who are you picking in the Super Bowl?
You haven't seen me. Wilfredo will attest to this. He has seen me in a boatload of athletic gear. And I don't think I have worn a Panthers gear on anything since last year's draft. And how did that work out for us? Not too good.
Oh.
And we don't have a draft pick this year. So, hey, you know what? It's all entertainment. And that's all I can ask for. And they did not entertain me much this year. So, but now it is basketball season.
Okay.
And my Tar Heels are kicking butt. And it's hockey season. And my Canes are doing well. So.
And Super Bowl pick.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna go for the. I'm gonna go for the two teams. I think the two teams that you're going to see in the Super Bowl: 49ers and Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Now, part of me, because
Chiefs.
my family is all from the state of Michigan.
So darn cute. You just have to root.
Yeah. Well, part of me also goes, if the Chiefs don't make the playoffs, then I don't have to look at Taylor anymore. But, she's distracting from a football game. I'm sorry. Our youngest is a Swiftie.
Hardcore Swiftie.
I mean, to the point where Travis Kelce is dad, but.
That is the dad of the Swiftie generation. My daughter made me a playlist of Taylor Swift songs that she thought that her mother, me, would like. So I listened to it, and they're not bad. And I came back to her and I said, well, where's this and this and this and this? I think I knocked her out of her chair. You know those songs?
I can tell you this.
Yeah.
Didn't send it to me.
No. I don't really listen to Taylor Swift. The point is, but this girl does. Yes. So much, in fact, that when it was Record Store Day every year, I had to buy whatever Taylor Swift album was being offered in limited edition at Record Store Day. And I laughed. I scoffed. I'm like, okay, this has cost me $35, $40, whatever. Every one of those records today is worth over $400 each. Every one of them. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy.
Up.
Where,
right there.
Right there. Hola, Anna. You know what? Thank you so much for discussing medical. That's our main concern. Totally get it, Anna. It's on top of our list too, but
All right. That opens up a great opportunity to point out that the Mexico relocation guide is going to give you some of the best options of who to discuss your medical insurance with, because, Mariana does a great job of vetting everybody, and she has all sorts of agents that are available for you to talk to and everything else. And we cannot stress enough. And we've been slapped on the wrist a couple of times because,
sometimes we let it
sometimes Mark's mouth just happens to say things that aren't supposed to be said. But no, the Mexico relocation guide, primo as far as that goes. And we bought it before we moved down here, and it's one of those things we're going, and the longer we're down here, the more we keep going, there's a lot in that's thumbs up.
Well, I'm going to say this. When we bought the Mexico relocation guide, what we used it most for was basically navigating our way getting here.
Yeah. I mean,
navigating, facilitation and tip extensions and things like that.
Yep.
And then there comes a period where there's a lull.
Yep.
Where you don't really need it so much, because if you're doing what we're doing, we're going to be Airbnb for a while. But then there's going to be a time where we settle down and we're going to need it again.
Yeah.
We're going to need it to help navigate lease agreements, utility connections.
And the other parts of it are, there are so many things that are in there that we don't think of on a daily basis. And all of a sudden you're going through boom, boom, boom. And you're like, oh crap, I never even thought about that. Yeah. And here's the people to call for this. And here's the people to call for this. And you suddenly start going, yes. And so, we have a link.
It's not under this video. Sorry.
Oh, okay. But we have a link in on our page that you can go to for the Mexico relocation guide. Worth every penny.
Yeah, I would agree. And yes, Anna, you are so right. Stress is the worst for loss of energy.
Stress and anger. And the problem
And
with,
anger.
and anger is one of the most negative and the most draining of all.
Yeah.
And it's one of those that, once you start getting angry, you stop thinking rationally and your energy level goes down and you're just like,
well, that's why athletes talk smack to each other in the heat of the moment.
oh, I was good at that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And Arlene says, Romy has her puffy jacket and it's a cute one.
That white one.
We know she wears that puffy coat. Man. You know what? My mother-in-law's got a puffy coat waiting for me in Kansas City.
Oh, yeah.
So if I have to fly back.
Buys her a jacket. Mark, stay in Mexico. Gina, I'll buy you a coat. Come on back.
It's true. It's true. She loves me.
And I'm her favorite son.
I'm her favorite daughter-in-law.
Well, that's also true.
Chris says, it's a brisk 38 in Chicago, which is great compared to minus 25 below winter last week. Yeah, winters in Mexico are a breeze. When I say it gets chilly in Querétaro and it might be in the high 30s, that is early in the morning on a windy night in the winter. And then by noon, it's back up into the 60s, maybe 70s,
now,
right?
I mean, we were complaining for the past 4 days because we had a torrential rain front come through, and I mean, it rained for 4 days.
It did. There was solid 4 days of rain here.
I mean, it just
in Playa.
It rained and it rained and it rained, and then it'd take a break, and then it rained and it rained, and it was like, but as bad as that was, still walk out in a pair of shorts and a tank top and go,
oh yeah, it's not
okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's so many birds. I'm finding so many new birds here. It's very cool. Very cool. And what? You're making squinchy faces. Squinchy face. Anyway.
No, I mean, and we have the iguanas around the house.
Yes.
I mean, not around the house. I mean, literally outside around the house.
We've had a coati come and visit us. 2 of them.
2.
That's right.
One was the red coati that you saw in the nature preserve video. And then we had a black and gray coati that was about twice the size of the red coati. I mean, folks, I was like, that thing is about almost the size of probably a Labrador retriever.
Maybe I should look that up and make sure it was a coati.
Well, the tail went up and curled and had the long snout and everything else, but holy crap, I was like, and we scared the Jesus out of each other because, I walked out to go have a smoke at night and didn't turn the light on, and he was about to climb the tree, and he climbs the tree and gets up above the wall, and I'm like, what the hell is that noise? And he climbs up, he looks at me, I looked at him, and I'm like, and he goes, I'm going back down. And so wherever he was after, whatever, wasn't that important.
Wasn't that important. Arlene says she agrees. In Querétaro area, it's cold usually only in the morning. And that's true. And like I said, I would get up in the mornings in the winter and I would put the space heater on for a little bit. And just
you turn your electric blanket on your lap and while you were working.
I have a little electric heating pad, a weighted pad, and it's enough to keep my legs warm, and it's fine. Hola, Atomic. Thank you for being here tonight. Hola, Miguel. Oh, let me see here. El que se enoja pierde. I am not sure what that means. My Spanish, I'm getting better, but I'm not that good yet. So what is the word enoja? Enoja. Translate. I got to translate because I do not know. Enoja. I'm doing it. I'm doing it now. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it good. Enoha. Angry. Okay. Angry. Enoha. That's a new word for us.
New word for you.
Well, you knew that word?
Enoha.
Well, you weren't saying anything. So
Well, that's because I was preoccupied.
So el que se enoja pierde. Do you know what that means? I'm quizzing him now.
No, come on.
Okay, so there you go. Look, Arlene did it. She pulled it and she says, who gets angry loses. Enoja, angry. Yep. Thank you, Arlene. We were getting close.
Es verdad.
It's true. Okay. Very cold to us in Florida lately, looking longingly at Temps and Querétaro.
So are you going to be visiting Querétaro? Because we're only asking because we're going to be there for 6 months. So, I mean, just
saying.
Anybody coming to Querétaro between, I don't know, mid-December and mid-May, we'll be there. Look us up.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
We'll get to spend Christmas in Querétaro again and New Year's. And then we'll have Easter.
If we wanted to go back up to San Miguel for Señor Semana.
Señor de la Conquista.
Santa Semana.
Señor de las Conquista.
Well, and the Easter week celebration, and that was phenomenal.
Yeah, but I'm sure they do something nice in Querétaro as well. Atomic. We move on the 31st of this month to Morelia, Michoacan. Always great to you both. Thank you. That sounds amazing, actually. That's exciting. It's exciting to do that move. We totally get it.
You're sitting here less, 1 week that you're going to be making the move.
Yeah.
That was, I think back on waking up on November 16th, 2022, and getting up at like 4 a.m. because we had to get up and we had to hit the road. To get as far as we wanted to get to. And God, it was cold. I mean, I'm out there in the dark. I'm packing the roof bag. It's snowing and the wind was howling and it was like 2 degrees. And my fingers weren't, I'm trying to cinch the suit, the roof bag down and all. And the two of us literally froze until about the Oklahoma state line because it was just like,
it was really cold. Hey, Darlene. Yes, we spent Christmas and New Year's together. And our birthday.
And almost all 4 birthdays. We'll just have to do hers a couple days early.
It's fine. And you know what, girl? We're going to karaoke. We are going to karaoke. The resort pulled the karaoke gene out of me. I haven't done it in quite some time. And even though I wasn't really at my best, I had a good time. So
I always have a good time.
I
had a cold and still had a good time.
I know.
The poor people who had to listen to me, they may not have had a good time, but
I was doing Heart and Journey. I want to do some Tori Amos. I want to do some Led Zeppelin.
Well, I was doing the tributes. I was doing a tribute to Jimmy Buffett.
All the dead guys.
Well, and I was doing a tribute to Dusty Hill from ZZ Top and somebody else I did a tribute to.
I thought you did a Marshall Tucker song, didn't you?
Yeah, I did do a Marshall Tucker song, but he didn't die. Well, I did Leonard Skinner for Gary Rossington because he died.
Hola, GS. Saludos desde Florida. Bueno. Thank you for coming tonight. Arlene, yes, we're going to karaoke, girl. We are going to karaoke. Okay. Atomic, where did you guys cross into Mexico?
We did it at Reynosa through McAllen. And the only reason we chose to go there was because Thankfully, Ernie Baca from Retired Life Mexico No Bull, which, all of us should know Ernie. He graciously was like, I'm going to be in the area and I'm going to be here on this particular day, and I will take you across the border.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, we will adjust the schedule, no matter what. And so we met him in McAllen, and he took us right across on the farthest eastern entry point that is available from Texas into Mexico. And he knows the back route and was able to take us around and basically skirt around the outsides of Reynosa. And even still, it was really interesting because, we filled up with gas because literally we realized that the price difference in gas, oh my God. Yes, you get your gas on the U.S. side. It's almost half price. And we're following him. And we're sort of like, this is exciting. We're entering into Mexico and everything else and going through. We wouldn't have known if we entered a cartel area under any circumstances.
There'd be no way for us to
None.
know. How would we
None.
know?
All I saw was the back of a white Jeep. And wherever that white Jeep went, my ass was following it. And that's what I was doing. And, fortunately with his, law and order, law enforcement background and his wife's law enforcement background, they know what they're looking for. And Ernie knows how to look in the rearview mirror and go, okay, yeah, they're still with us. And, but that's where we went across was Reynosa. If you really want to know how to drive across, I highly recommend paying attention to Retired Life Mexico No Bull. Ernie is always about keeping what's going on at the border on a current basis. And he is fantastic about, if you are going, I'm going to be crossing on, in the coming week, what do you recommend? He will tell you. And we actually elongated the drive by a day because there were some things that were happening on Highway 57D that really made us uncomfortable of taking that particular route through San Luis Potosi to Querétaro, and it would have saved us a day in drive. But because of what was happening at that particular time on that road, we went around to Aguas Calientes and went that route and didn't have a problem. So it's being aware of what's happening at a certain time.
GS says, I want back to Puebla. You know what? Puebla's in our
yes, it is in our rotation.
It is. We're going to be going through there. I don't know what we're going to find. I know that we passed through there on our way to Veracruz right when the volcano was erupting. It was very foggy, and I thought it was fog, but then we realized it was smoke and ash.
Yeah, fog doesn't blow across the
the
highway the way that did.
Oh gosh. Arlene, I got a big speaker now, and we can do karaoke at home now. Did it for Annie's birthday this past Saturday for her 50th birthday.
Liar. Annie ain't more than 39. I'm just saying.
Hey, Arlene, guess what? And I have like 8,000
it's
karaoke files.
It's stupid.
I really do. I have an entire hard drive dedicated to karaoke music.
I used to be a co-host for a karaoke show, and so we have all these files that we have.
Now, obviously, it's been more than 10 years, so nothing really new. But yeah,
well, it's new enough for me.
It's new enough for him. However, there is a site that I do like to go to, and I've been checking out some of their newer stuff, and they offer the option of either getting a CD, G, and MP3 file combo that you can play as a karaoke file, or you can get an MP4 video file. You get any of the above.
Now we just hook it up to the whole screen.
Right. So you get the whole, and yeah, they've got some newer stuff that I'm looking at. I like to go there because it's a British company. And so they will often get a lot of European music that typically doesn't make it on karaoke here. And particularly I like them because they will notify you if a song that you have upvoted has been released. And so I have Genesis songs and Yes songs, and I've been waiting.
The reason she found this out was like trying to find Robbie Williams and Genesis.
No, it was Genesis songs
and some of the old. Hard to find.
I used to go to a friend's house every year for a 2-night party that we were calling Laura's Genesis Gathering, or LG2. And she would have people come to her house, and there would be over 100 people there sometimes, depending on which year it was.
And some of us slept in her bed.
Yeah. And I would run the karaoke part. And so it's a Genesis party. Therefore, I should have a lot of Genesis and Genesis affiliated songs like Peter Gabriel and Phil Collins and Mike and the Mechanics, etc. And I would run that. So yeah, this British site does really, really well with their tracks. And I'm very impressed. And they do difficult to find songs. Yes.
Yep.
Digging it. All right. So, and Arlene, and we got the bar too. Well, you know that we're coming to your bar, Arlene.
Going right back to Grand Funk. We coming to your town. We'll help you party it down.
Oh gosh, guys, it's been 2 hours. Does anyone have any questions they would like to ask us before we decide we're going to wrap it up? I think we'll give it like another 15 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. See, somebody knows. That's right. That's right. You could spend 24 minutes singing Supper's Ready. We've done that.
I have seen that.
We have done that.
I have seen that.
50 of us singing Supper's Ready. You know what? And my favorite part is bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. No. Yeah, we've done it. If you can imagine. If you can imagine.
In the rain, no less. They sat out there. All they needed was Spock doing the, because that's what they really are. That whole group.
No, we're not.
Yes, they are. You even admit that the Genesis people are really a bunch of nerdies. Yeah.
We love Genesis. We really
I understand that.
Totally. Yeah. You know what, Chris? The song I want is Cinema Show. I want Cinema Show on karaoke so bad. Yep. I just think it's such a great song. All right.
Denise has a question about.
Did I miss something? What? Wilfredo. Oh, good night, Wilfredo. Thank you so much for joining us. And Denise, let's see. Question about Safety Wing. Will it cover you if you live here full time?
Yes.
It covers you anywhere in the world except for your citizenship home country, with the exception of that one clause of like if you vacation, if you go there for a trip, they'll cover you for that. And you don't have to even be living inside your citizenship home country to buy it. You can buy it from living anywhere in the world. Like I literally just got a new certificate
2 days ago.
2 days ago. The certificate's only good for a year though. And you have to get a new certificate each year. It renews automatically unless you tell them to stop it. So yeah, it does cover you full time here.
But it's basically a catastrophic. So
Peter's vocals are so dramatic in that song. Yes, they are, Chris.
So were all 50 of them. They were so dramatic in their singing of it. Just
oh gosh.
Just one drunk man's opinion, because that was the only way I could get through the night, was over there, while you guys were all doing that.
I know. We were having a good time.
Yes, you were.
We totally,
and
the
that
musical box. That's another one I want on karaoke. Musical box. Okay. Love Genesis. That's right, Arlene. We're going to do some Genesis karaoke. Thanks to Lena. Thank you for coming tonight. I hope you have a good night. Buenas noches. Let's see. It's cheaper than the insurance I currently have. Yes, Denise,
but is it better?
But is it better? Just check it out. It is less expensive, but again, it's only catastrophic. So we would still have to pay for typical routine things out of pocket, which in Mexico really isn't that bad. So
I think a lot of it really depends upon the current state of your health. And then the question also becomes what it's going to cost if you have to re-enroll if the health starts to decline. So it's sort of a
they don't do any health questions.
I know, but
it's not.
No, I'm talking about re-enrolling back into a
a typical plan. Yeah.
So
right.
It's sort of a do I save now but pay on the back end.
Right.
So
and I do think that they raise the rates in age group blocks. Like Mark does cost more than me. But I also noticed when I renewed the certificate this time that even though
I went down.
No.
Oh, I thought you said I did.
Shh. Let me finish. So even though Mark's plan is more than mine, because he's a rider on my plan, his rate was lower than it would be by himself. So you still cost more than me.
Well,
you cost about $30 a month more than me. But you would have cost about $50 a month if you weren't a rider on my plan. So
CC rider.
That's it.
Yeah.
Do you keep your USA insurance and do you have to drive back to renew your car and tags? Oh,
yes and no.
Good.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Yes, we have USA insurance. We are registered in South Dakota and we have State Farm. And the reason we have State Farm is they allow us to suspend our insurance for 5 out of every 6 months that we are out of the country.
And the reason that it's 5 out of every 6 is they only have 6-month term policies. So you pay for the first month to buy the policy and then they suspend it.
Right. And the other reason that we registered in South Dakota is because South Dakota doesn't have state income taxes and a lot of other tax advantages, but they also do not have an annual inspection on your car. So everything we are able to do as far as renewing the tags and everything else, we do online. And we actually, they changed the whole license plate and shipped us and mailed us the new plates, and we had to have them shipped to us. And because we originally had one plate that we got when we drove up there, and then we got to Mexico because they redesigned the plates. They mailed everybody out the new plates. The new plates had a new number, so we didn't have a choice. We had to have it shipped down to us in Mexico to put the proper plates on because we really didn't want to get stopped and go, that's not the right license plate for your car. You're going to a Mexican jail.
Yeah, right.
No.
As if that would happen. Mexico doesn't care what numbers on your plates if your plates are from another country. So
no, they really just care that you have plates on the front and the back.
Right. We do have new tags that we paid for in the beginning of January.
Yep.
And they're currently sitting in our mail forwarding service. I'm not in a big hurry to get them sent down to us. I wait until we have a few things because it'll cost us anywhere between $30 and $60 for them to
have them sent to mom's and then bring it down.
That's true. I could do that. That's smart. You're smart sometimes.
I have my moments.
But anyway, we do pay for the registration renewal every year. They send the tags, but we don't have to get it inspected to get it. So we pay basically 2 months of insurance a year.
In 10 months, we're free.
I'm trying to think of what they call it. We have a low mileage discount.
Yes. We had a different plan when we first got there because we had the app and that tracked where we drove. and how we drove and all that other fun stuff that they do.
Safe driver discount.
Right. But because we were in Mexico, it did not register anything.
Right.
And so it made it so they were like, you're not driving. Well, yeah, we're driving. We're just not driving in the US. Doesn't matter for you. But they wanted to raise our rate. And then they looked at it and they went, well, you know what? You're really not driving any miles. So they put us on such a low premium because of the fact that we're not logging miles in the US. So our rate went down dramatically because it was going to go up dramatically.
It was going to double.
Yeah, it was going to double.
Anyway, it ends up we're spending about $160 a year.
Yeah.
On auto insurance.
$80 a month for the 2 months that we do pay.
Yeah. Okay, Miguel, other than Spanish and missing family, for us, the hardest part of living in Mexico is, the hardest part. Okay, so we're knocking the language part out because that would have been the hardest part. And I honestly, I'm going to be fair, missing family really wasn't even a factor because we never saw our family in the States. What is the hardest part?
Well, I know it is for me, but I was waiting for you were working your way to an answer.
No, you go ahead. You answer. I'm thinking about it.
Regular TV. For me, the sports. I mean, I have to jump through hoops with streaming services and everything else.
Okay, you got me there because now here comes mine.
Because that is, I'm a sports addict. I mean, I played sports and played college ball and everything else, and I'm an addict on sports, and so getting that, there's some things I can readily get and I can get easily, and it's very good, and there's other things that I can't, and it's adjusting my expectations. And one of the things is, I have suddenly found that, I can listen to a ball game just the same way I was when I was a kid. I used to listen to a ball game on the radio. Yeah. And so now, so I can't see the Tar Heels on there see them. I can get the live stream of the radio call and I'm good. I really am. And so it just took some adjustment.
What do you think mine's going to be? What's one of the things I love to do, and I would do it a lot?
Well, play your vinyl.
Yeah, I miss my vinyl. I miss my record players, my 1970s stereo floor console, and my regular stereo setup, and I miss my vinyl. I have 1,400 vinyl records that are in storage, and sometimes it sucks. I like to just play vinyl. And I like to go out on record store day and buy the newest limited edition releases. And I'm going to throw this in there too. I like to go to concerts. And
yeah, but that us moving here didn't change that. The price of tickets on the other side changed that.
The price of tickets have made it really, really hard. But let's be honest, people I listen to, they don't play in Mexico. Very few of them do. And if they do, they're going to play in like Mexico City, which is what's happening. Steve Hackett is coming to Mexico City, and I'm going to go see Steve Hackett. So,
I mean, case in point, I saw the Eagles on the Hotel California tour, and it cost me $12.50.
Yeah, now it's
$1,000. Now it's $12.50, but there's no decimal point.
There's no decimal. Anna, thank you. When is your next live? Thank you, Anna. Our next live is 2 weeks. We do them every 2 weeks.
2 semanas.
So 2 Wednesdays from now.
See.
And Terry, Georgia and David have another. Thanks. Thank you, Terry. And good night to you.
And get them Krispy Kremes.
Yes. Denise, from what I can tell, all insurance in Mexico is catastrophic. I pay out of pocket even for my annual visits. Well, then there you go. Safety wing, man. The only thing is Denise, I don't know when you're outside of the boxed groups of ages, how much that rises. But again, Mark is in a different group than me, and his would have been about $50 more a month than mine. if it weren't for the fact that he's,
We have a link
yeah,
at the page.
yeah, safety wing. Shauna, have you ever heard of port forwarding to mimic your home Wi-Fi when working abroad remotely? I have heard of it, Shauna. I have never done it. I'm not really sure how to do it. I have heard of it. What I've been doing is working with a VPN. But you know what? Any good IT department's going to be able to see right through that VPN. They're going to know. They're going to know you're bouncing to another country. But I don't know about port forwarding. I need to.
The other part of that is when you're as good as doing what does as she is,
Yeah.
they really don't care. I mean, I
So-
mean, they sort of do, yeah, we only want people who are in the United States, but we're not going to look too hard because we want people to do, and she clears out tickets and they're like, okay.
Now, when I heard of port forwarding before, my assumption was that you have to have a Wi-Fi signal from a home base to forward to. We don't really have that.
We could.
We could potentially use his mom's, but hers isn't that strong. She might get 80 megs on a good day.
Well, I mean, but if we're willing to step up and help her get,
something better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I really haven't dug too deep into it yet. If somebody were to say to me that they won't hire me because they know that I'm working out of the country or something, I might have to consider it. But I don't really know the details of how that works and how to set it up. I'm sorry, I wish I did. So, and what a VPN. Atomic, we're using Surfshark VPN at the moment. And we can get the VPN to allow for streaming several of the services that we subscribe to. Sometimes Mark has issues with certain sport events because they're not on the streaming services that we subscribe to. One of the ones that we will try to use is YouTube TV because we're on his mother's plan for YouTube TV. But YouTube TV will make you log in to the local account periodically to allow you to keep access. That's even in the United States. His mom is in Kansas. His mom is in Kansas City.
I'm done.
His mom is in Kansas City, and if we were to try to log into YouTube TV in Charlotte, it's going to say, nope, you got to be in the Kansas City market.
Once every 6 months.
Yeah, so that's something I'm going to have to do when I go back up to refresh, because some of his sporting events he watches through YouTube TV. So it just becomes an issue. Occasionally, some of the VPNs, I've noticed lately that my bank accounts won't let me log in when the VPN's turned on. Some of the streaming services won't let me log in when the VPN's turned off. It's always a constant messing around, playing with it. Alma says, Mark, that is my husband's fear too, is sports. But Denise, Expat TV. I've heard this, Denise. I've heard many people talk about it. You can take the box with you from place to place. I'm going to look into it. My concern about Expat TV was that I thought it had to be installed and that you had to have service to the box. And if we move around, some places may not have it. So if that's the case, and we can just take this box and just whatever, I'm going to look into it.
One of the things is, to be honest, is Stream East has given me the ability to watch NFL, NHL. You can watch NBA. You cannot get college basketball at the Stream East, and that's a free service, and it works fairly well. And it does allow you to be able to get all those. You just have to turn your VPN off, and there's a lot of ads to get to where you want to watch. Once you get there, you're golden. Then we have the ESPN Plus, which allows me to get to most of my college basketball. And once we get the YouTube back in, she gets back up there, logs in. We got 6 months more of that. So, And I buy the package for my Braves. It's $129 a year, which comes out to about 75 cents per game. Money well spent. So,
let me see. We got so we got some questions about the expat TV, the Fire Stick. I have a do I have a Fire Stick? Is that Amazon? I have one. We don't even use it. I don't know. Like we don't even watch TV anymore. Miguel says, looks like we will be friends with you guys one day. Sorry for the dating question. And Tom, man of my word, the reason I came to Progressive to fulfill my promise, wishing you both the best in the future. I do, and your future endeavors. Adios. Good night, Tom. Thank you. And Tanya, I've enjoyed you all. Thank you, Tanya. We appreciate that. Okay, Shauna, I want to try port forwarding and mimic my Las Vegas home Wi-Fi to work abroad. I plan to test it next month when I visit Mexico. I'd be interested in finding out how that works for you, because I've not experienced it. I really haven't investigated too much. And see, I have 2 travel routers and a NordVPN. Okay.
yeah, we use Surfshark, and it's amazing. Some sites I have no problem with the VPN on.
Mm-hmm.
ESPN, if the VPN's not on, I'm toast. It goes right to it goes to ESPN Mexico. But Amazon, if the VPN is on, nope, you're not going to get through. You got to turn the VPN off to get to Amazon. So it's hit and miss. And what you find is you develop the repertoire in your brain and the list of this one works with it, this one works without it, and that's the way you have to live.
All right, let's see. And there we go. I do Surfshark, but Live Ops knew straight away I was using the VPN. Turn it off. She goes, I canceled it.
Yeah, there's some. I mean, literally, if I try and use it with the Stream East to watch the NFL, I get the finger from Stream East. They go, you're using a VPN. You can't get in here. And I turn it off. And once I see it go off, lets me in with no problem. So
yeah, it's weird the way that works. I can load your Fire Stick and you can get all the USA channels and all the sports. I paid for it until 2027 and can load it for you.
Another reason that these two are my angels, you know.
I have a Fire Stick. We don't use it. I bought this thing, gosh, it might be too old to use. I don't know. Was it about 4 or 5 years old? We'll figure it out.
Whatever, you know.
Mexico or bust, let us know. We can get you a nice, inexpensive place in 𝙤𝙎 instead of an Airbnb.
We're only going to be there for 2 months.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you can get us a place for 2 months when we happen to be there.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's a short-term rental situation. Yeah. You know, that's why Airbnb tends to be what we have to use.
Yeah.
So, Linda. Hi, Gina and Mark. I was so late today. And bye. Have a good night. No. You have a good night, Linda. Thank you for joining. And also pay-per-view. Dang. Okay, Arlene.
We don't do the pay-per-view. I mean, just no. They like to watch the boxing and the UFC. That's just.
We like to see people kick the shit out of each other.
Well, if you want to do that, just get Arlene mad. You know, she'll kick the shit out of somebody. Okay. So, yeah.
All right, guys. I think we're going to call it a night now. It's been a little over 2 hours, almost 2.5 hours. We really appreciate you hanging out. We're really sorry that the video is crap again. You best believe I'm looking for a new live streaming service.
Well, one thing we can tell you, it won't be the same service. We can't promise that it's going to solve everything, but all we can do is we're going to try.
I mean, if I just use Facebook live streaming only, I won't be able to pop up your comments onto the screen. That was the downside. That's why I went with StreamYard. But, you know, this is crazy. I'm plugged into a 250 meg download, upload Ethernet cable. This should not be happening. So, yeah.
Something ain't working.
Something's not right. All right, guys. We're chilling out. We love you all. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And we hope you have a very good night. We will be live again in 2 weeks.
2 semanas.
Next video is going to be Progresso Cost of Living Wrap Up, followed by the 2023 Cost of Living Comparison.
And then we got the nightmare that was Campeche.
Yeah, we'll get to that someday. We also have to do Ginger's Jungle Rescue. So
Yes.
all right, guys. You're so welcome, Shauna. Thank you for joining us. And Denise, bye. And Arlene, see you all later. We're out. Good night.